In an open conversation with Ben Foster, a former Manchester United player, Brandon Williams acknowledged that he thought about quitting football before taking a sabbatical from the sport this season. After Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave Williams his debut in 2019, he made his debut at Old Trafford as a teenager. However, due to injuries and a decline in his play, he was loaned to Norwich and Ipswich before being let go by the Red Devils last summer. After pleading guilty to reckless driving last week, the 24-year-old, who has taken a hiatus from football since leaving Old Trafford last summer, could now face a 2-year prison sentence. Williams, who will be sentenced on May 9th, crashed his automobile at 99 miles per hour with a balloon in his mouth in August 2023 while with a young woman. Williams acknowledged on Foster's The Fozcast that if he hadn't taken a break from football after leaving Manchester United, he would have felt pressured to give up the game entirely. "I was ready for a break, but I wasn't thrilled to be sidelined for a season. I simply had no idea how long that break would go or how long I would need it," Williams remarked. "Looking back, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have the break. I don't even think I would be training now. I think that would have just been it with football. But being back now, being back watching the football, it actually hurts me watching football at the minute, because I just want to be there, I just want to play, I miss being in a team on the coach, I just think it's that thing where it gets too much for somebody sometimes." Williams revealed that various clubs from the United States, England and Europe had reached out earlier in the season to discuss his return, but the defender was not ready at that stage. "I had an agency, for the first 3 months before I made my debut, and I wasn't the person who wanted it," the 24-year-old, who trains alone every day but Sunday to increase his fitness, said when discussing the role agents have played in his career thus far. "I never desired to be an agent. I've always wanted an older brother with a lot of experience and someone I could trust, but I never got that. At the age of 18, I eventually found an agent with whom I made my debut. However, 6 months later, I decided to break up with him and find another agent. We had to go to court and resolve all of that because I was still under contract with that agent and he attempted to sue me. In any case, everything worked out perfectly. And ever since my debut, I've been working with the same agent." In response to a question about his communication with his agency as he looks to return to football, Williams said, "I'll be honest, I haven't spoken to him in maybe a year now. Perhaps a year." When Williams openly states that he wants to return to the game, Foster is shocked and asks whether the agency would contact him again. "We'll see," Williams said. "I will have my discussion and see what comes out of it. However, I've had numerous teams try to get me out since August. I simply haven't been prepared. I know where I'm going and I want to go somewhere 100%. Give it your all and keep going. We will ultimately choose the correct choice when it reaches that point." Since December 29, 2023, Williams has not participated in a competitive match. After failing to win a new contract at United, he was left out of Ipswich's matchday squad for the second part of the previous season as they won promotion to the Premier League. The 24-year-old fullback spoke up about his time at Manchester United, saying that it was a dark period in his career and that he found it difficult to get out of bed in the mornings. "In my mind, I think I have a really strong mind. If you were on the journey, you would see the huge difference between where I was and where I am now," Williams added. Mick Farrell at United, he was a psychologist there, and I knew him since I was like 15, he said when asked who he confided in during his difficult moments. "When I wasn't leaving my apartment and was just lying in bed, he would constantly bring me in. He would show up at my bedside at around 9 o'clock and try to convince me to go. Let's go for a coffee, or let's go for a walk, are examples. I was having trouble getting out of bed because it was dark. It was difficult since many people care, but perhaps they care because they don't want to lose their way of life or something similar. Come on, we need you to get back," they would say. Just to process everything and start over, I needed that break. Only to disappear for a while. Nobody is aware of what I'm doing. It is my responsibility to work hard and get back into shape because I know what I'm doing." During the podcast, the football player acknowledged that he had been stabbed in the back by those close to him, which was a major factor in his loss of interest in the game. "It was simply becoming too much for me at that moment, just before his football break. Friendship issues, friends betraying me, stabbed me in the back, and other such incidents. It had a significant effect. My family was quite concerned about me, but I was ignoring them and not really talking to them. My buddies were as well, to be fair, they could see it. It just wasn't right. I basically go into this state where I don't give a damn. I have this switch where I don't care what I do or what happens. They urged me to get back to football, but they could tell that I fell out of love with it. Simply put, I didn't want to. At one point, Red Devils great Gary Neville praised Williams' mentality during his breakout season and predicted that he would become a star at Manchester United. Neville posted on Twitter, "I like Brandon Williams," following Williams' performance in United's 1-0 FA Cup victory over Wolves in January 2020. His eyes have the look of someone who would bite his opponent's nose to win the match, and that's what I admire best about him. Keep going, youngster. Yes, he is also a football player, which is always a plus. Solskjaer trusted Williams to step up in the second part of the season, keeping the far more seasoned Luke Shaw off the team. Gareth Southgate, the manager of England at the time, apparently took note quickly and considered including Williams in his squad for the Euros the following year. But the 2020-21 campaign didn't go as planned since Williams struggled with injury setbacks and lost his United spot to Shaw. After that, things did not go better, and following Manchester City's 2023 treble victory, Williams and Rio Ferdinand got into an online argument. "Nobody wants a sloppy seconds," Williams wrote on his Instagram story, apparently underwhelmed with City's achievement 24 years after United's. Then, believing the former United defender had given City too much credit, he attacked Ferdinand, writing, "At Rio45, if you had the same values as the player, I bet you wouldn't congratulate them." Emoji of a sleeping face. 2. Sick. Face is dull. After criticizing Ferdinand, Williams did not play for United again, and he is now anxiously awaiting word on whether he will be sent to prison next month. When considering his Manchester United career, the player acknowledged that the COVID-19 epidemic marked a significant turning point in his passion for the game. "It was unbelievable at the beginning of my Manchester United career. Playing in these big games and touring the world with United is like spending a lengthy season with family. Getting that break and all that sort. However, COVID definitely occurred during my stay there, so that also had a significant negative impact on me. Things began to slink in at that point, both on and off the field. It was the March international break, and I was talking to some of the guys just before COVID hit. Some said, 'You're going to get a call up here, you're going to get called up for England.' The league then ceased down a few weeks later. Everyone was in their mansions at the time, and I was at my mother's while on my Zoom calls. In gyms at home and elsewhere. I was just doing the plank on the floor of my mother's bedroom. Everything, including using a bag as a dumbbell. I just stood in the shower while all these people were stretching in the pool," he continued, smiling. "I enjoyed my time at United. There aren't many things I would change."